the guy with the.
Or something like that. Or Wendy.
Okay. I got new funnies here if anyone wants to pass them around. Okay, anybody got a joke?
I got one line. I might throw the bouquet into the crowd to see who's next.
That's a pretty good one.
Like in weddings.
They got plenty of bouquets. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of like, throw the bouquet because that can be the next person.
Why did the choir go on a cruise?
Why did the choir go on a cruise?
They wanted to hit the high seas.
Oh.
That's
Really bad. You have a
There's
joke.
two wind turbines sitting in the field. One turbine says the other turbine, what's your favorite music genre? And the other wind turbine says, I'm a huge metal fan.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get it?
I just found it on me. On Reddit.
Of course it was Reddit.
So,
Everything's on Reddit.
Yeah.
so before I get to the catechism, I gotta mention this because it's so
You
funny.
can do that, right?
In the news, this is real, in the news, North Korea has banned the hot dog.
What? No, why?
I'm not, because it's too damned American. They've also banned Top Gun the movie.
Wow.
Because it's too American. So no hot dogs, no Top Gun in North Korea.
That's terrible.
And it's not just North Korea, a couple other countries banned Top Gun too.
Why?
Just because they don't want that to
movie
get
a
in
lie.
people's minds.
That's like banning the letter A.
Yeah, can you imagine never having a hot dog again the rest of your life?
Actually, I would be okay with that.
The police stopped me and said, papers. I said scissors. I win and left. I think he wants a rematch. He's been chasing me.
That's funny. All right, here's our catechism. Here we go. You ready? Okay. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Proverbs 16:9.
There's so many people not.
I can't imagine what it's like to not have a hot dog.
Even though it's just 2 people. Just eat raw.
Raws are really good.
I don't know, they might lump them into all of that.
Spicy cheese.
So good. Anyone know where we left off? What's your note say? What's your note say?
Italy and some rich family.
Yeah. The Godfather.
Oh, okay.
The Medici family.
Okay, good.
I forgot.
Perfect.
They wanted to figure out how to make metal into wood.
Yep, alchemy. Okay, that's perfect, because I know where we're going now. So, we've already talked about the Roman Empire, but we're gonna talk about how this all links up into Venice, Venetians, and their power in the Renaissance age. So, Roman Empire, when we think about it, the empire itself, there's the dates. Before that, Rome was a very powerful city-state or republic. Some people say Rome was established in 776 BC, 700 years before this, but we can't be quite sure. So at some point or another, and I'm sure most of you know this, the Roman Empire split. The Byzantine Empire to all the way to the east, the Rome's the Western Empire, and they split them in half because it was, at the time, it seemed to be the easiest thing to do to manage both halves of an empire. I'm giving you context. I'm sure this is in your notes from God knows when, but context you will need in the next few slides, for sure. Anybody's grandparent here today?
There's no grandparents in either.
No grandparents?
Our grandparents are coming in town.
My grandparents live in Indiana. I have grandparents who live like an hour away from here, and my grandparents who live that.
Yeah. I've got a couple grandparents still alive.
Wait, what?
My grandma's 90.
Introduction, hi, Kevin.
Oh,
Hi, Kevin.
the Roman Empire split in two, and the Byzantine Empire, well, it started that's the date right there, 330 AD, that's when it split. And we get two very different cultures at the time. The Byzantine Empire and the Roman Empire developed kind of into two separate empires, but under the same umbrella. So, when you think of the Byzantine Empire, it is an offshoot of the Roman Empire. And there's the dates, 330 AD to 1453 AD. So long after Rome was sacked, I believe it was 476 AD by the Visigoths, the Byzantine Empire was generally still okay off into the east. So this all gets wrapped up into what I'm going to talk about next. So the Byzantine Empire, which was centered at this place called Constantinople, I'll show you a map in a minute, was founded by this man, Constantine. Under the sanction of the Roman Empire in 330, they said, go over there and take charge of that place so we can have a better grasp of how to rule the whole world.
Is that Constantine, like the Constantine from Rome?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't even know what that means.
It's a hilariously stupid movie.
Oh, yeah.
About Kermit the Frog going to like a Russian
No, there's a Russian, there's Kermit, but he's Russian, and he's got a mole on his lip, and he's the world's most evil frog, and then he breaks out of jail, and they arrest Kermit, because they think Kermit's him.
Wow. Is this real?
Yes.
There's a whole movie.
It's hilarious.
It sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, never heard of it. Now I want to know more. Hello, come on in, take a seat. Whose grandparents are we? Got any kids in here today? Mr. Dorn's grandparents, there we go. So, we're going to talk about the Byzantine Empire. It's going to be in a very special location. The city-state itself is in a place called Constantinople. And it's called the Golden Horn Inlet, and we're going to tell you exactly why. Constantinople. Much later, it was called Istanbul. What?
Talk about everything.
I think we should wait 13 hours for my grandparents to start.
13-hour break. Yeah, we'll take a 13-hour break and
Come back and get
come back and, what would that be, 2 a.m.?
That's okay, at least I'll be here.
So I'm going to show you on a map that I printed with my printer at home of what the world looks like at this time. And then we need to slide it more. Give you a good idea of where the empire is when it was founded. How does that look? Nice map. I slaved over this. It's hard to see. It's hard to print these transparencies with modern printers. You know, old printers from when I was in college, they did a much better job, but this is the best as I could get it. Anyway, here's Rome, right here. The Byzantine Empire, which is centered at Constantinople, is right there. It's not too far away, considering. But it's at a strategic location. All the commerce, the fleets, the ships, everything is going from the Black Sea through Constantinople and back again. It is a natural port. It is a very strategic location and a very rich city. So when the Roman Empire split about there. You guys over there in the east will be in charge right from Constantinople, and we'll just stay in Rome. That's how it happened. It gives you an idea where they are in relation to each other. So, can you imagine that? An empire so big that you had to split it because you couldn't take care of all the business in the whole empire yourself. You had to split it so they can take care of their half, and you can take care of your half. No, there are, the city of Fargo, who's been to Fargo? Fargo has a mayor and a town council. You know they have to meet twice a month? And there's a town council for one half of the city, there's a town council for another half of the city. They all work on different things because Fargo is the biggest city in North Dakota, kind of like that. You can't possibly do all the business one day of the month. They have to have 2 meetings every month, different councils, different sections of the town.
What are those things, they're like shields or flags or what are they?
Actually, I have no idea. I printed that up later, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. It could be what it is. See that? I don't know. I think that's the Roman Empire, SPOR, you know, the eagle. I'm not sure.
What's the green, what territory is that?
This is Arabia, basically. So, I mean, it looks good from the printer's standpoint, that's in vibrant colors, but once you look at it, it's cold. I just wish it could have done a better job. The point is, Constantinople has a fantastic port in full domination, and that's what it's called, where it's at, the Bosphorus Strait. Goes right into the Black Sea, very small little strait, where all the ships have to go if they want to trade with the rest of the world outside of that.
Wait, is Constantinople in Europe or Asia?
It's considered Asia. It's actually right at the mouth of Turkey today. And it's still there, it's called Istanbul. It's not what it used to be. Like I said, it has a natural harbor. And honestly, it's a natural harbor that's actually defensible from land and sea, which is very rare in history. There are harbors all over the place. You cannot defend unless you have a fleet of ships to defend it. Actually, Byzantium, you can defend without a huge fleet of ships. That's how it's located. I'll show you another slide.
Oh, isn't that Saudi Arabia flag we have there?
I think it may be. I can't tell.
Yeah, I think it's Saudi Arabia flag.
Yeah, it is. It is so beautiful outside. It is hard to teach a class on the inside when it's so beautiful outside. Don't you think? Yeah, this light show, I don't think it'll work so good outside. But yeah, I could teach it outside. This is just a fun light show, by the way. So not only does it have a harbor, it has a huge 3-tiered plus wall system of huge stone walls. The most impressive of the ancient world. Thought for a long time to be invincible. And I'll show you this slide to give you a good idea. This slide, to give you a good idea of what this place looks like. This all ties into Venice around 1200. Keep that in mind. Anyone ever played laser tag? Do you play Aladdin?
Oh, yeah.
Do you like it?
Well, I've only played it on one day.
Yeah, we played it one time at Olympics, and then we have laser activities in our house, we have to shoot at the gun. Oh, really fun.
I got in trouble at Levity
What?
and playing laser tag. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to run. I almost killed a kid or something.
Oh.
Because I was running, but they apparently they forgot to
You
tell me that was the
didn't
rule.
watch
You
the
didn't watch
video?
the gun?
They have a video at the end, at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Maybe it was at the end. I don't know. I don't remember seeing the rule. I started running and what? Isn't this combat? No, it's laser tag. You're wrong. You're wrong. Okay. But the walls that were made at Constantinople were meant to be invincible. Well, that's funny. They said that about the Titanic too. Unsinkable ship. They made that up longer.
Should be like a party store, like you should.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the reason I asked is because I have a huge bag, no, it's not huge. I have a bag full of laser guns and laser receivers that I'm going to donate to our school here.
I think I could outfit at least half of you all. In here at night with the lights off.
Can we do that
Yeah,
next night?
I am not gonna sanction that, cause I will never hear the end of that one.
Hey,
So, why is the school all destroyed this morning?
What do you mean destroyed? There's still like.
We could play it outside.
Yeah, that's right.
What's nice about this laser tag system is that it can be played outside in Brussels. Here's Constantinople, ancient Constantinople. This right here goes to the Black Sea. This right here goes down to Greece and the Mediterranean, right where my laser is gone. This place is massive. It's a beautiful port right here. Any ship can dock just about anywhere. And you have huge lines of walls that have been built over years and years to defend the city. These aren't just thin, 5-foot thick walls. You ever look up Constantinople stone walls? They're still there, folks. They are the thickest stone walls of the late medieval period. This map was online. I actually searched for it. I searched Constantinople 12th century.
Hey, Molly.
These are all the churches within. Oh my gosh, the outer walls, the outer walls are at least 40 feet thick. But it's hard to think of it that way because what they did was they dug the earth out and piled it up and then put stones around the earth that was piled up. I swear, some of these walls, they must be 100 feet thick. That's all of the walls. Probably 3 stories. And in front of them is some sort of moat and dip system. This city was meant to be impregnable. And because it's Byzantine, it is home to all of these churches of all the saints, and every one of these churches has their own patron saint, and they have all sorts of artifacts in them, pieces of the true cross. They've got a finger of some apostle, all sorts of weird things. But this is a very rich city. And for hundreds of years, it was the center of Christendom in the East, as it was known.
Don't they have like a huge Muslim mosque there that used to be a church?
Yeah. Yeah, there is a mosque. Yeah, there is a mosque there. It was taken over by the Muslims much later than that. But the point is, this is a very rich city, it's a center of Christendom off into the east, and is almost impregnable. And they get taxes from every ship going in and out of this area. Talk about money, talk about influence. It's all about money, isn't it? Now we're going to talk about the horrible Fourth Crusade. I got a new orange, apparently that's orange makes it.
It's like red and
It's
brown.
brand new, that's what kills me, it looks like it's old. It's a brand new orange marker, I thought it would be better.
It's cool though.
I can't even test these at home because I don't have my projector set up. I don't even know until I get here if it stinks or not. Yeah, it stinks, no more of that. So we're gonna talk about the Fourth Crusade in 1204, and it all links up into Constantinople. 1204 AD. It really is one of the strangest crusades that took place outside the People's Crusade a few years before. This all feeds into Venice. So you have friends off in the east. Constantinople is the center of Christendom in the east, right? A lot of Crusader armies would want to pass through there so they can get to the Holy Land. They just pass over the water and they go down south, and Jerusalem's not that far away. So if you are in a Crusader army or you're in charge of a Crusader army, you have the option to go by sea. You're going to march right to Constantinople, get provisions, and move on. I'm going to put this map back up and I'll replace it. So, here you are, you live in France, you're called to crusade. You come all the way over here, gather somewhere around Venice. If you can't get Venice to take you by ship, you're going to travel all this way and go to Constantinople, provision yourself, and go down here to Jerusalem. That was the plan of a lot of the Crusades. It didn't exactly happen that way every time. No. in the People's Crusade. Peter the Hermit, I think was his name. Marched to Constantinople and jumped over the strait. That's why. But that's the goal. You go to Constantinople, reprovision, then you go south. Because everything that you want is there. The Holy Land is in the south. Kind of makes sense. Still gotta go through Turkey. Skirting the coast of the Mediterranean. Sounds easy. But it wasn't. Anybody do anything fun last weekend?
I worked.
Oh, yay, you worked.
I saw you. Yeah, I saw you.
What?
Really?
Oh, the place you might work, you know?
Just maybe.
That's fun.
I did an internship down in Medici.
Oh, we got baby ducks over here. Anything more interesting than that?
Drove dirt bike.
That's fun. I've never been on a
There was this lady who came in, she ordered 30 gift cards at $10 each, and I actually charged one of the gift cards $20. So we spent 20 minutes looking for that one gift card. Oh, it was so fun.
That's a lot of tacos.
Why was she doing that?
A lot of tacos.
Doesn't that look right? No, she said it was for work, so.
So everyone up in Europe that wants to go on crusade, they hear, oh, Byzantium, Constantinople, Christian. So you know what? Let's go there. But it's not exactly that easy. When you are the emperor of Constantinople, you're looking down on a bunch of people coming in with weapons, armies coming from Europe trying to pass on through. How are you going to view them? You're going to view them as a little bit of a threat. Even though they're supposed to be on your side. Yes.
Wait, is the other side of the Roman Empire not in history more at this point, or is it still exist?
At this point in 1200, the Western Roman Empire is gone. Byzantium actually survived. That's the end of the empire. But can you imagine? You're your own city. You're your own empire. Here comes a crusading army that didn't give you much notice. And you've got tens of thousands of very well-armed knights and all sorts of footmen and soldiers at the base of your wall. You're going to view them as a little bit untrustworthy because guess what? They could turn on you like that and probably take you out, even though you have an impregnable fortress. So by the time the Christians arrived, they weren't welcome. Not too much. Not the way they thought they were going to be. And that's the point. So they show up, we're tired from the walk, it's been a long walk just to get to this point. It's been a long walk just to get to this point, and we're exhausted. What kind of stuff would you need when you take a break before you go into Holy Land? Food and water. Oh yeah, food and water. Believe it or not, scarce. What else? What else would you need to pre-provision to go to the Holy Land? Sure. Oh yeah, horses, absolutely.
What is that, rest?
Rest, yes. Lodging. Mm-hmm. Weapons, sharpening, weapon trade, something, yeah. And that's just a couple. So they show up expecting to get the best treatment, but they don't. All those things that I just wrote down, they're going to have to pay for. They're not just going to be given food and water. They're not just going to be given lodging just by the goodness of anybody's heart. This is its own empire, and they're going to charge them top dollar for this stuff. So the money in your pocket is all you've got. And if you don't have enough money, those people on the high walls of Constantinople are not going to hook you up. And you're going to start to hate them for it. That's exactly what happened in most of history.
Amelia, you're wearing this? Yeah. You're the hearing.
One of the main points is too is that this city, this eastern part of the Roman Empire held back the tide of Muslim armies starting 650 AD. And this is when it's all on its own, holding the tide of all these armies coming in to try to get to Europe, the Ottoman army. It helped hold them back, didn't do so well. But the Byzantine Empire has troubles of its own. When they have people showing up wanting to crusade, it's just adding to the bunch of the trouble. It's a very complicated, stressful relationship.
You know, the Ottoman Empire lasted until World War I.
Oh yeah, oh yes. The Ottoman Empire did not truly end until just, I believe, after World War I. It was a shadow of its former self, but yeah. The Ottoman Empire, I believe, is the longest empire that I've ever seen. Longest period. Could be wrong. All right, here comes the march. Here we go. So there's your high walls. The gates are locked when you show up. They'll let you camp outside, but you're going to pay for it. They'll let you get some water and get fresh horses, but you're going to pay for it. So you're going to look at all those people up in that city as like, oh, they're just haughty, they're looking down at us. They're not really helping out their Christian brothers, or they should be, and they're not. So people really get irritated about all that. Not just Christians, anyone that showed up. Oh, they're safe behind their high walls, and they have all this treasure in there, and they're not sharing it with the rest of us. Yeah, kind of like that. So now we're going to fast forward to why this is important. We got fun plans coming up. What are we going to do? Motorcycle class? Your parents don't mind you taking motorcycle class? Wow.
I regret it.
I've never been on a motorcycle in my life. I've been told I probably should. Yeah.
Pretty sure I get to go to Minnesota next week.
Minnesota track meet.
Minnesota next week for physics.
There we go. Okay, there we go. A little bit of travel here. So fast forward to 1204 AD. The Crusaders arrive at Venice. Venice is, we talk a lot about Venice, but it isn't really pointed out. There we go. So, Crusaders of the Fourth Crusade arrive at Venice. They arrive there and they're expecting to get a ride straight over to the Holy Land on ships because they figure it's probably cheaper. They're probably right. What does Venice have? Money, yes. What else does Venice have? I heard chicken pot. What? Pasta. Wow. Maybe, okay, maybe. I don't know what they make there. Venice has no water. Yes, Venice is a natural harbor, all of it. They have ships. So the Crusaders want to take some of their ships, and they figure Venice is going to send them on ships for a very low fee. We're all on the same side. We're all Christians. We're going to fight in the Holy Land. Can you just send us over there? It ain't too far. No. The Venetians are businessmen, and they want 85,000 silver pieces to ship the entire crusading army to the Holy Land. Drop them off somewhere like in Tyre or Acre or something. Anyone ever seen a silver dime? Roosevelt dime. About that big. This is what we're talking about here. Roosevelt dimes about that big, and some of them from 1961 and previous are silver. $85,000. They can't afford that. And Venice knows it. The guy that's in charge of Venice knows it. What's his name? Anyone remember his name? price tag. So Cosmo's like, hey, if you take out this city for us, not too far away, using your swords and your bows, arrows, and siege equipment, you take out this city, we'll send you to the Holy Land. Oh, so they show up in Venice, getting ready to go to Jerusalem. Venice is a huge price tag saying, you pay this, we'll send you, or you can go right across the pond and take out this place for us, and then we'll send you. So now the crusading army is doing the bidding of a city-state. They're not really crusading at all, they're just fighting for somebody else. I'll show you where that Sarah is. And this is right there. Zara's right there. It's not far away. So they convinced the crusading army pretty easily. Hey, it's just over there. We'll send you by ship. If you just take them out and slaughter everybody in there, we'll send you to the Holy Land, right? Sounds like a good deal. Well, guess what? The Crusaders took the deal. Where it gets fun. So Cosimo, using a Crusader army that was never really his, well, he's paying for them to go to the Holy Land, but he also got what he wanted. Who would this make angry? Actually, you're not far off base. Conquering Zara ticks off the current Pope. The Pope is furious when he heard about this. These were decent people. He knew some of them. The Pope is furious that Cosimo used the crusading army to take out one of his cities that he wanted to take out. Wow.
Wait, the Pope wanted to take out cities?
The Pope was furious that the city was taken out because Cosimo did it behind pulling the strings behind the scenes. The original Godfather. So what does the Pope do when he gets angry? What can he do? Ah, yes, there you go. He excommunicates you and your army. So every Venetian in Venice, you're out. Everyone in that Crusader army, you're out of the church. I want nothing to do with you anymore. So the army and the Venetians are kicked out of the church now. He just kicked out an entire army of Christians going on crusade. What's that going to do to the army? What's that going to make? What if you just got kicked out of the church and you have a sword and shield on a big army? You're going to get angry, aren't you? Yeah, they got angry. Well, where are they going to put that anger? Well, they're supposed to be going to the Holy Land next. Supposed to be. Listen to that mob out there. Oh my gosh. How many brothers and sisters we got? I've got 5. So I'm the oldest of 6. I got 4. 5.
I am the oldest of, and then it's
So I'm the oldest of 6. You got more?
Our cousins, that was on Sunday, they had 16 kids.
16 kids?
yeah. We're not kidding.
Ouch, literally.
No, we're going to, that's the cousin we're going to be on.
Wow. What do you got in your family? Wow. One thing I've seen in homeschool kids' families, they seem to have bigger families than most. Seem to be. So here's a fun story. I'm going to tell a story about this guy. Doge.
Dandelion.
Dandolo.
Dandelion.
Okay, if that helps you remember, Doge Dandelion, great.
I loved it.
Well, Doge means basically king, and it's the king of Venice right here at the time. Doge. Yeah, it could be Dodge.
Did you want us?
Yeah, I know, isn't that weird? I was writing that last time, like, that sounds like Doge in the White House, but no. No, whenever you're appointed a king or elected king of Venice, you are appointed. So this guy, before he was king, was at Constantinople. And the people there booted him out of his office very roughly and told him to never come back. He had a vendetta against Constantinople. He was a Venetian ambassador. And the Constantinople people hated him so much, they booted him out, told him to never come back. Probably threw some tomatoes at him or so. I don't know. Apparently it was really bad. So this guy's in charge at this point of Venice. So he gets an idea. And he convinces the Crusaders to do it. You know what? I know you were all just kicked out of the church, and now so am I. We can't exactly attack the Pope in Rome because he's too well armed, and the world wouldn't go for that one. Oh my gosh, that sounds crazy. But there's the people in Constantinople who are just all haughty and they think they're better than everybody else. He somehow convinces the entire army, well, the leaders of the army, to take the army of the Fourth Crusade and fight against Constantinople, the seat of Christendom off in the east. Yes, this guy, Those Dandelion, convinced that whole Crusader army somehow to do that. And they did. And it was a sad point. Oh, I'm sorry about the orange.
If you stare at it for a while, it looks better.
He took the view that everyone had of this haughty city, listen, raiders, Christendom, on their high horses. They look down on everybody. They don't share their wealth, blah, blah, blah. He used all of that was already out there and focused it on the crusading army, convinced them to attack their own brethren behind the high wall. Sad, crazy. So now your excommunicated army is going against Christendom. They were going to go get Jerusalem back. Think they're going to make it to Jerusalem? No, they never do. So now the crusading army, they're now called the Venetians. People are just calling them Venetians now because they're doing the work of Venice. This is in 1204 AD. Right in the medieval period. And this is why we're talking about this, is that this is one of the ways which Venice capitalized on a situation to make themselves crazy, stupid, powerful, and rich. Those Dandelion and Cosmo were working this whole thing, making people fight against each other. Who's going to die, who's going to live, they're deciding, like we talked about last time. So now the Venetians fund everything. You know what? We'll pay for you to go to Constantinople, and once we go there, you can go wherever you want. So the crusading army's like, okay, fine. We'll go to Constantinople. We don't know if we're going to fight against it yet, but we kind of do. They show up, and the crusading army is directed to attack the walls, and in just a few days, surprises the whole city and takes it out. What happens when a bunch of angry people who had been recently kicked out of the church do to a place that is crazy, crazy rich that represents the church? Sacking, went on for about god-awful week. It's amazing that this happened because if you look up Constantinople walls, you will see how big these walls are. It's absolutely incredible that they move so quickly. So the Crusaders sack the place, and they're all filled up with gold and everything else that they could possibly want. They've had good steak dinners. You know, they're camping around, and they're actually living in the walls now, within inside the walls of the city. And that's the whole concept is, we're just going to get to Jerusalem. You know what? We're doing pretty good for ourselves. We're looking around pretty comfortable with that they just sacked one of the greatest cities in the world. And they said to themselves, well, we'll just get to Jerusalem later. What happens, do you think? start going home. One by one, twos by twos, platoons by platoons, battalions by battalions. Everybody goes home because they got enough money to live off of probably for the rest of their lives. Like, why do we need to take Jerusalem? We got a bunch of money, let's go home and we'll let the world worry about the rest. Well, guess who got all the land, most of the land that Constantinople owned? Yes, Venice. The Byzantine Empire, 1204 AD, was split up by Venice and her allies. Venice gets a bunch of it, her allies gets a bunch of it. They're not quite. Funny, when I was in college, we didn't really talk about Venice very much. It's like that place was the puppet strings. Held the puppet strings of the entire world. Incredible. And they got stupid rich. But Venice isn't done. They don't want to see Christendom wiped off the map. Venice is like, you know what? Constantinople's not going anywhere. Even though it's sacked and burning, it's not going anywhere. People will move back. We do want Christendom to survive. So Constantinople is kind of rebranded. Venice says, I'm going to take 3/8 of your city. This actually happened. So 3/8 of the city that is burning, and there's almost nobody left besides the Crusaders and very poor people and very rich people. Venice goes, we will take this part of the city, and we will let an emperor, who we name now, take over 5/8 of the city. So a new Latin emperor is crowned and stuck in burning Constantinople, but then they give him 5/8 of his own city. So he is not emperor of Constantinople in full, he's an emperor of most of it. And they graciously give him some of his land back. That's what happened. Can you imagine being crowned emperor of a burning city that is full of very poor people who had no options but to stay, very rich people who stole a bunch of other things from other people, and you're crowned emperor of that by the powers that be? Cosmo, those dandelions. You never know where this class is. So they give him back part of the city, they concede back part of their empire, and Venice gets most of it. You see how much money could be involved here. See how much power and influence Venice had over the world at the time. Crazy. Anyone have any questions? You know, you were a lot.
How did they get into the city?
I'm not sure exactly how they did this with the boats, but they lashed a couple of warboats. They lashed a couple of warships together with ropes and beams. They paddled it out into the strait, and then they went full speed, rowers, oars, everything, and rammed into the wall. Went back, did it a bunch of times until these seawalls just fell down. And then over the ships, they went into the city. Yeah, but lashed them together. And I'm sure that the front of the ships had probably like iron prows or something, so they could take it out. But yeah, that's how they did it. Not much known about it, but I know they lashed ships together. But yeah, incredible what happened. I'm going to let you guys out early because I know you want to run around the building and enjoy the sun. No homework. Look up Byzantium, no. Look up.